Hey, Ronnie Jr.
What brought you and Bowen together originally? Was it podcast first or friendship first or?
Friendship first. I mean, we've been friends since college, very similar to how I met Dave, and we've been friends since like 2008, 2009. So this is like a 12-year friendship that I have with Bowen. We've been best friends for almost a decade. So the podcast kind of just came up again, sort of like similar with Dave. I mean, I wanted something to do with Bowen, and Bowen and I know we have a very special rapport, and so we were going to put that into the podcast, never thinking anyone would listen to it, really just doing it because we wanted an excuse to like hang out for 90 minutes a week. And we called it Las Culturistas because that was the dumbest name we could think of. We created the segment I Don't Think So Honey because it was the easiest segment to think of, and it was based on something we would say to each other. So, one thing led to another, and through word of mouth, people started listening, and then we did the live show, and it really kind of popped off. And I think it's just, I credit two things. I think it's really hard work and really pounding the pavement in New York for so long that you meet a large community of people that you can have on the podcast. And people seem to really enjoy having a glimpse into the world that is like up and coming New York comedy. And also, just having those people on the show to kind of show off their really unique senses of humor. I mean, we're only as good as the guests that we have, and we have the best. I mean, I think about our very first episode where we had a guest was Anna Dresden, who's now one of the supervising writers at SNL, one of the funniest people ever. So I think about the fact that our instincts have always been pretty right when it comes to we should have this person on, they're about to blow up. And I mean, I literally started co-hosting it with Bowen Yang, so it's been pretty cool.
What was it like? Because I believe you were on hold for SNL as well. What was that like when Bowen sort of gets on the writing staff and then gets the big headline, and he's a best friend? But does that also like put some pain that you didn't get to join him in that experience, or does it feel okay?
I think that it's as complicated a situation as it sounds. You know what I mean? Like, not only was it me not getting a quote unquote dream of mine, but it's having to see your best friend get that. And as proud as you are of that person, it also comes with a deep sense of envy. And because no one's perfect, you do get a little jealous, and then you're angry at yourself because you didn't do well enough, or you're frustrated because you feel like that's the one thing that really was meant for you. But then as you sort of wade through those emotions, you realize that it's one job, it's one opportunity in a world that presents many, many, many. And ultimately, I look back on that and I just think, wow, how lucky I was, and how rare it is to get that opportunity to even do that, let alone two times. But also to know that they've made the best decision they could ever make, which is to put Bowen Yang on the show. He's so deserving, and he's doing such an amazing job, and of course he is. So
Yeah.
everything worked out the way they were supposed to work out, and I'm endlessly proud of him and proud of myself for being there.
Do you think of any other setbacks that were a challenge you want to speak on that you did overcome? I'm not saying getting on hold on SNL is a setback, but to feel so close must hurt.
Well, to not get that was tough. I mean, to be honest with you, it actually was pretty interesting because, when I was coming up in New York comedy from like age 19 to age 28, 29, I actually did well. I succeeded at UCB. I got named as a comic to watch by Comedy Central twice. I mean, I went to Just for Laughs New Faces Comedy Festival, which is a very coveted thing. And so I actually did pretty above average when it came to like garnering accomplishments and checking every box. And I think that when I did not get Saturday Night Live, it kind of felt like, wow, it doesn't really matter that all these things happen. Like, life can still take a turn. And so not getting that job when it looked like on paper I quote unquote should have, I had like every prerequisite, was very humbling and really took me back a second. And it just goes to show you have to be really resourceful. And so no matter what that setback is that you encounter, and so many people will, in fact, we all will encounter setbacks. I think that my advice would just be, make sure that you're as well-rounded as possible, because this is a very hard business to succeed in. And I think it will be really tough to be, you know, just an actor or just a writer. I think that it's worth it to try to round yourself out as much as possible. If you're someone who wants to be a comedian, you know, and you're primarily an actor, take a class that teaches you how to write a pilot sample. If you're a writer, you know, maybe challenge yourself to get on stage every now and then. You never know. Because I think that's something that's really helped me is being well-rounded as a performer, as a writer, because this industry is tough and you do have to be able to say, well, you might not want me for this, but I also have this. So making the space and really committing to doing this is hard, and you have to make a lot of sacrifices and takes a lot of time.
When you get so close to like an SNL, does that have like a reasoning to say, you know, I'm gonna try things new in LA? Or was LA random, completely different? Where did LA fit into this equation?
You know, I was such a like hardcore New Yorker. I was actually raised on Long Island, and I went to school at NYU, and I always stayed in New York, and I just got so comfortable there. And LA always made me very anxious. I think like it's so synonymous with the industry and succeeding in the industry, and it's so all-encompassing, and you know, that's just one of the many reasons why LA is intimidating. And a move across the country is very intimidating when your entire family and all your friends are in New York. But then as I got a little older and I've been in the industry a little bit longer, I realized that, you know, it's a natural progression, because once you have cut your teeth in New York and you've done so much there, you really, I found I reached a ceiling there, and I was just ready for a change. And so I really kind of just said, let's do it. And also, to be totally honest with you, New York wasn't getting easier to live in. You know, the subway isn't getting easier. The weather, you know, doesn't get
at 22. At 22, you're so down for all that.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And then you realize, like, okay, life doesn't have to be this hard, and also I can make maybe a little bit more money doing this. So what happened was I went to Los Angeles to do pilot season for the first time, and then halfway through pilot season, I ended up getting a writing job on the show The Other Two on Comedy Central. So that's kind of just goes to show you, like, you know,
I love that show. That was funny.
Yeah, these opportunities. Thank you. These opportunities can come in any way, shape, or form, and you should be ready for it.